Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will step into the world of Lilith by George MacDonald. Lilith by George MacDonald, published in 1895, is a surreal and richly symbolic fantasy novel that delves into profound themes of death, redemption, and self-discovery. The story follows Mr. Vane, a man who inherits a mysterious library and encounters strange apparitions, particularly one of an ancient librarian, Mr. Raven, who leads him on a journey beyond ordinary reality. Through a series of surreal landscapes, spiritual encounters, and philosophical dialogues, Vane confronts both his own identity and existential truths, grappling with the nature of reality and the path to spiritual awakening. MacDonald, a Scottish author whose works influenced C.S. Lewis, J.R.R. Tolkien, and others, embeds Christian allegories and metaphysical inquiries within this visionary story, making Lilith a deeply contemplative yet challenging read. Plot summary. Through the shadowy corridors of an ancient library, Mr. Vane, a young scholar recently returned to his inherited home, encounters an apparition, a mysterious old man named Mr. Raven, who appears to be both man and raven. Drawn to the strange happenings around him, Vane follows Mr. Raven deep into the library's labyrinth, where he enters a realm that is both unsettling and enchanting, a place where reason flickers and illusions ripple as tangibly as the rain-soaked earth underfoot. Mr. Raven, a figure full of riddles, beckons Vane to journey beyond the world he knows, toward truths that tremble beyond comprehension. In a moment that defies his senses, Vane stumbles through a mirror, crossing into a desolate land under a gray and oppressive sky. The landscape stretches before him, both barren and charged with latent energy. Here, Vane encounters a great raven, wise and sardonic, who appears to know more about Vane than Vane himself. The raven poses questions, prodding at the young man's assumptions about life, death, and identity. Vane resists at first, searching for familiar truths, but his words fade in the strange land where language and thought feel less substantial than the oppressive mist all around. Led onward, Vane soon comes upon an ancient house that seems both refuge and trap. Inside, the figure of a sleeping woman catches his gaze, her beauty ethereal and almost dreadful in its stillness. This figure, he learns, is Lilith, a powerful and prideful spirit whose actions have cast shadows upon countless worlds. Lilith is the embodiment of rebellion, a figure from primordial tales who resisted her fate, choosing exile over submission. In her dormant state, Lilith radiates a beauty that strikes at the heart of Vane's sense of reason. But she is not wholly asleep. When she awakens, her gaze is piercing, and she challenges Vane's assumptions with her cold defiance. Haunted by Lilith's unsettling presence, Vane continues his journey through the spectral landscape, encountering creatures that seem suspended between life and death, each bound by some half-forgotten truth or an ancient pain. He traverses silent, eerie plains and encounters cities where inhabitants drift like ghosts, lost in shadows of their former selves. Despite these warnings, Vane remains drawn to Lilith's presence. Again and again, he finds himself on the brink of a dark revelation, the mystery of Lilith deepening with each encounter, though her true nature and the meaning of her silence elude him. Through this bleak land, Mr. Raven reappears, guiding Vane toward the answer he both dreads and desires, that the real struggle lies within. Mr. Raven encourages Vane to relinquish the illusions of control and logic, suggesting that only by surrendering these illusions can he begin to comprehend himself and the reality he traverses. But this acceptance does not come easily to Vane, who resists the Raven's cryptic wisdom. Amid the scenes of suffering and sorrow, a single question crystallizes: can Lilith herself be redeemed? One evening, Vane encounters a mystical chamber of sleepers, a vast, echoing hall filled with rows of silent figures lying in serene repose, like stone effigies of some forgotten world. The chamber's silence fills him with awe and trepidation, for here the boundary between life and death is razor-thin. He feels the weight of eternity pressing upon him, whispering that each figure lies in wait, existing between states of being. With a sudden and chilling realization, he understands that the figures are not dead but suspended, neither fully alive nor truly gone. Among them rests Lilith, bound by her own pride and defiance, held in a state of timeless waiting. Throughout his journey, Vane wrestles with the ambiguity of identity, the tenuous fabric of reality, and the notion that true redemption lies in surrendering one's ego. In a final confrontation with Lilith, he offers her compassion and understanding, recognizing that her torments are self-inflicted, her rebellion rooted in an unyielding pride. He understands now that Lilith is the creator of her own suffering, shackled by her own actions and beliefs. Moved by his sincerity, Lilith begins her own harrowing journey toward repentance, though it is a path fraught with sorrow and resistance. As Lilith confronts the depths of her pride, Vane glimpses a transformation within her, a slow and painful surrender to the light. This act of repentance does not come easily. Lilith's spirit fights against the humility needed to cast aside her pride. Yet, in this struggle, Vane discerns the glimmer of a possible redemption, not only for her, but for himself as well. Through Lilith's story, he sees his own capacity for growth and change, recognizing that only by relinquishing control can one find true peace. At last, Vane returns to his own world, though he emerges transformed. The familiar surroundings of his home seem less substantial, mere shadows of the truth he encountered in the strange realm of Mr. Raven. He is no longer the young scholar who once clung to reason and logic, for he has glimpsed a deeper understanding, one that defies words yet fills him with a quiet certainty. As he gazes into the library's mirror once more, he sees not just his own reflection, but the face of someone who has journeyed through realms of mystery, a soul tempered by the trials of self-discovery and the pursuit of wisdom. With this final revelation, Vane turns from the mirror and walks forward, not into certainty, but into the unknown, his heart filled with a new kind of peace. Hope you had fun. There's more where that came from. Explore other books by George MacDonald. Find them below or search Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in George MacDonald's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.